Hello, 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 and welcome to a late but still going strong live here from inside the house outside the meadow because it's too dark to be doing the meadow outside tonight. And I think it's about to start here underneath my screen. Let me get that there. If you guys are in the chat, please say hello. Glad to know that you're here. Tell us where you are from and where you're gardening. I see a couple of folks in the chat already. So, my apologies for starting off late tonight. I don't have a good answer for you other than I just goofed up. And so, I am really grateful for y'all sticking around and being here with us tonight. It is December. You would not know it today. It was nearly 80 degrees outside here in Florida, which is not the typical December temperature usually. So it's there. Hello, habitual hobbies. Hey, Karen. Hey, Michael from Minnesota. So great to see you all here tonight. But it has been a busy week since Thanksgiving. I mean, that was just like 10 days ago or something, but it's just been kind of crazy, it feels like. Well, hello, Elizabeth from Indiana. It's great to see you here. Oh, look, it looks like we have about 7 folks live with us. Fantastic. Well, I thought it would be fun tonight because I did the little post, I think just before Thanksgiving, talking about, or right around Thanksgiving, talking about gifts that would be great for the gardener. And if you haven't seen that video, I had a lot of fun with it. I asked Mrs. Michelle to go over to our local nursery and hardware store and try to find some things that would make great little garden gifts, practical garden gifts. And she did her very best. And it's so funny. I went back to the same store afterwards and she did, considering the options they had available this time of year, she did great. So I think that's one of the challenges maybe in the winter. If you start thinking about gifts, whether you're thinking about Christmas or you're thinking about Hanukkah, and you think, boy, I would like to get my gardener something. In a lot of places, all of the garden stuff is just put away. Even here in Florida, I would say that your basic lawn stuff was really available, but things that you think of for the garden were not as readily available. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, even at Tractor Supply, I've stopped at several Tractor Supplies and all the garden stuff is put away to make room for all the other things that they sell this time of year. So, um, Kaylee, it's good to see you too. I'm glad you are here as well, Kaylee. We've missed seeing you on the channel, so welcome to see you here. In southern Missouri, it was almost 70 degrees. Wow, it's weather's just crazy, isn't it? Hey, Sarah from Nebraska. Hello, hello, hello. Wow, we've got some representing across the Midwest today, I see. That's fantastic. And then all the way down to the underside of the globe from where we are. So that's so cool. I really appreciate that. That's great. So tell me in the chat, I want to know what kind of things you think would make a great garden gift and let a gardener gift. And let's start out with things that are like under 20 bucks, under 10 bucks, things that would be great stocking stuffers, things that would make you super happy to have in your stocking if someone thought enough of you to give you some garden gifts. I would love to know. And I'll share a few of the ones that came up on the channel, that came up in the comments of the other video. And a couple of them were really good ideas. And while you guys are typing that in, many of you that are here will appreciate this because you had some of the same opinions. One of the gifts, and so I think this is an interesting thing to think about. One of the gifts that Mrs. Michelle got was a moisture sensor. And it was a 2-part moisture sensor. In fact, I'm going to pull it up and show you here on the screen because I thought it was kind of funny later because someone told me a story and now I have to go find that video real quick. But it was really funny because they were super excited about the about that particular product, and I couldn't figure out why. And they came back and they explained what it was. And so I'm going to show you what this looks like because it's kind of cool if I can find it here. Yep, here we go. If I can learn how to do all these things and talk at the same time. These folks that do lives and they share these things and they do it, it's just so impressive because I got to tell you, it is difficult at times. And so this was the item. Let's see here. How do I share my screen? Present, share my screen. And here it is here. It was a moisture meter. And I really couldn't figure out why I would want that or want to use that in the garden. And what one of the comments was, and I thought this was super smart, is they live in the high desert. So I don't really always think about what the different zones are like other than my pretty humid zone here. But she wanted this and she ended up buying one of these for her mom who gardens in a green stalk. And I know a lot of our viewers do garden in a green stalk because it had a separate tip for putting in and then an extension cord for reading. She felt like this would be a great way for her mom to be able to measure the moisture levels in the green stalk. And I had not thought of that before. I actually have, where did I see it today? I have another moisture meter, of course, right this second I can't put my hands on it. Um, and you just stick it down in the soil. And so at the lowest level of the green stalk, you'd have to turn upside down in order to see it. And so I thought that was pretty cool because what I thought was kind of a silly gift ended up being a gift that someone else said would be really, really cool. So that was kind of fun. Let me get back over here. Let's see what we have here. It is, oh yeah, that's right. That's right, Karen. It's summer for you all there. I often forget that. I don't, one of these days, I will remember how all of this works together. So let's take a look here. Oh, Kaylee, I'm sorry to hear about your internet. I hope that gets resolved really quickly for you. Potting kits. I like that. Potting kits are great. So is a potting kit, Karen, that'd be like a seed starting kit or a set of gloves maybe and a shovel or something. I like that idea. Seeds, a habitual hobby says seeds, gloves, hand tools, watering cans, garden decor like little gnomes and such. Oh, now that is cute. Now it would be kind of fun to have a few little things like that around the garden. Watering cans, we can always use. Gloves, we can always use. Seeds, yes, please. Can you ever have too many seeds? I think there used to be a local band here called Too Many Shoes, but really, is there such a thing? So, um, then we have here, oh, we've got folks joining from Facebook tonight. I had this set to Facebook and it worked. Yay. Hey, Jacqueline, good to see you here. A glass globe that is meant to drip water for your container plants. Hey, that's a pretty neat idea. Let's go over here. Look at that on Amazon. I forget what that looks like, but it's like a watering globe for indoor plants. Hang on here. We'll share the screen again. I might just figure out how to do this. Shh, don't tell anybody. Be our secret. Oh, these are cute. I hadn't thought of that. Actually, I'm glad we're here because I want to show you this other one. I have not tested it. Yet, but this is something, this terracotta watering spike, I am thinking about testing out because this looks really interesting. Now, I try to look for United States sellers on Amazon as much as I can. Because if I'm going to buy something, even if it is made overseas, because we're in the United States, I would prefer to buy it through a seller that's, has a company in the United States. And so a lot of the times what I will do is I click to see who's selling it. And then I'll just scroll down because you can learn about where their store is located. And so, a lot of different companies are selling this particular product. So we can see here where this one is being sold from. It still may ship from Amazon. It may be on Prime, but when I can, I try to support US based businesses. But that said, this looks really cool. It is designed for you to be able to stick a beer bottle or water bottle or some other kind of bottle into the opening. And it's made of a terracotta material. and it should weep slowly into the plant. But I plan to test some of these out next year in the summer. I was talking about celery, I think on my seed video, and I think for the celery, this might be a really good thing to plant next to the celery that has such a high water demand. I'm going to be trying out all kinds of different ways to test keeping things watered up in the garden. So let's see here. Derry says a hori tool. Absolutely. Packs of seeds and a new watering can. Oh, there's another vote for watering can. I saw at I think Epic Gardening has the some hori knives as well. Let's open that up real quick. Take a look at that one. Let's see. Ba-ba-dum. Oh, there it is. Here we go. I love their new scene here on the homepage of Epic Gardening. That was kind of cool. I've never seen a garden like that, so it was kind of fun. But they do have over at Epic Gardening in their gardening supply, they had what I thought was a pretty affordable hori knife at 20 bucks. It's a Corona brand if you want to order online. I really do love my hori knife. If you guys haven't seen one like this before, the serrated edges, a little cutter here. They're not terribly sharp, but they're good enough for digging. Really great for transplanting seedlings. And if you're digging in some tough ground, really helps you get some leverage just a little differently than say a spade would, because it's just a little different angle, you know. So, and because it's kind of flat, it goes into the ground a little more easily. So, Karen says, oh, right. Karen says so many people overwater and can see it being handy for inexperienced gardeners. And I'm sure she's talking about the moisture temperature. And now, Karen, I don't know if you guys are not, I don't know if you guys are in desert or not. I think probably the one of the things that I learned when I was visiting Epic Gardening, you know, and all that desert out there is trying to keep things appropriately moistured without wasting water and being really, really keenly aware of that. And so I could see I could see a green stalk drying out down below and not knowing if you needed water. And I know in Australia, you all are much, much better at preserving and protecting water here. At least in my general area, people act like water's going to last forever, and not the way we use it. We try to be really mindful of that. So let's see. Kaylee says, for someone has a lot of seeds, one of those photo storage cases with cassettes. Oh, that's right. That's right. I'd forgotten about those. And yes, I have seen those at Michael's. I wonder if they have any of those at Amazon. Here, let me pull that up and see. Let's add a photo storage box. So I'm going to put that in there and see what that is. Yep. So, in fact, this might be the one. I don't know if this is the one that I bought before, but here, let's share this one. This is kind of a neat. I really like mine. In fact, I can't get mine and show you guys because it's in the other room, but these work really, really well. When you have thick, heavy seeds, peas don't do as well in this, but a lot of the other smaller seeds do really, really well. The one that I ended up purchasing before has colored containers. And so at first I tried to be really organized and put the colored containers together. And this color was for flowers and green was for greens. And that only lasted about a minute. I do like these. What I actually do, I do sort by type of seed. I have thought about reorganizing it by planting season. And so putting the things by the month that they should be planted in there. Oh, good. I'm glad I have this. I have this here still. I shared yesterday, I think it was yesterday's video on the channel, the seeds that I'm starting. And our extension office in Florida has these little sheets that you can print out, little printables. And so it tells us when we can start from seed, when we can transplant gently, and when we can easily transplant. And I am thinking about trying to take these little sheets and organizing my seeds based on when I should be thinking about planting them so that I don't have to dig through every time and start looking at them. So that's my thought on that. So um, always, Karen says smaller tools for growing in pots. Yes, some smaller ones. I have a couple of really small. I actually ended up with this tiny, like it seems silly. It seems like a silly size shovel, but then I was starting some little tiny um, agriculture bags, like you might use in a nursery to start some plants, and they were about this big. It was perfect. It could put the seed, put the soil right down in there. So Sarah says she has an arrow garden on the wish list. Oh, yes, a very nice an arrow garden. That's a lovely thing. Uh, thank you, habitual hobbies. I appreciate that. Oh, oh, bee and insect water containers. Oh my gosh, I saw those, and yes, anything we can do to help our bees. That is a really cool thing. I have noticed on oh, no, this is pretty neat. Hopefully that's a feeder and not a trap. I have noticed a few people have had the, uh, they're 3D printing them on their 3D printer, of course, and they're tiny, and I worry about the really tiny ones not being able to hold up. So, like, these are really cute, but you're gonna have to go out and put water in them every single day to make sure they stay full. At least here, that would dehydrate in a hot minute here. In something like this might do a little bit better, or if you had a deeper pond that had more surface area, you could do that. But I love that idea. That's a great idea. So Karen says, "Hi, my name is Karen and I'm a seedaholic." Hi, Karen. I think you're in the right room. I think you're in the right room. Well, I can tell you that at let's see what which which am I on here? Botanical interest, and I know that you don't have all of these same things down underneath uh, but botanical interest is really been a lot of fun. If you I don't know, do any of you have children that are interested in gardening, by the way? You can get to if there are any of these websites that you want to shop on, I should show you this real quick. You can go to, let's see. Let's try this one more time. Get to the right right level here. You can head over to michelleandthemeadow.com/support. I am an affiliate for many of the things we'll probably talk about tonight, that helps support the channel, that helps support the things I do here. But I've listed all of my affiliate links here on the page. So if you say, hey, I really would like to buy one of those things I saw on Amazon, if you hit here, then I may earn a small commission on that item, and that really does help our family. In fact, our affiliate commissions drive probably the larger part of the little bit of part-time revenue I'm able to make here. So thank you for that. So for botanical interest, it's just michelleandthemeadow.com/bota. But I'll head over there real quick. What I started to say was that over on here, if you wanted to do something fun and put something fun together for your kids, they even have little ebooks on botanical interest websites. So there's a garden journal book, there's a cut flower book. You do have to, sometimes they have coloring sheets too. So here's a pumpkin activity book. You have to put it in your cart and check out, but then it just emails you the thing to download. And so they have different kinds of books available on here, and sometimes they even have coloring sheets. I don't know where I don't see the coloring sheets today, but at some times, let's see, did I have that linked on my site? Bop, bop, bop. Oh, that was the garden journal. That was the journal I had linked to. So even a free journal here. So even if you don't want to spend a lot of money, here are some little free ideas that you could stick in there. So Very good. Um, Celery juice is so good for you. Yes, celery is just good for you. And I know I'm a little bit behind on your comments compared to where we are, so thank you for that. Um, Excellent, excellent. So good suggestion. A good suggestion from Karen is just an old instead of a hori-hori knife, there is you could just use a like a hunting knife or something if you need to make some stabbing into the ground. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. So fantastic. The photo storage containers come with some stickers. Yep, yep, yep. Excellent. Hanging propagation stations for the indoor plant lover. Uh, I actually so we didn't plan this. I don't have the wooden hanger. It's already out in the meadow, but I have that because I'm thinking about overwintering maybe some basil that way because we do have some basil. But let me find that really quickly here because that's funny that you mentioned it. Here's the little test tube that goes with the watering station, and you can get these little propagation stations as they call them, and it's really kind of fun to have it. And I haven't set it up yet, but I took it out of the box. I think it's going to be fun. I'm just going to go through and nip some of my mint and some of my basil to start regrowing the roots and getting it ready for winter. So I thought that would be fun. I like that idea a lot. Let me see here. All the funs of clicks, clicks and clicks and clicks. Propagation station. Here we go. So they look like this when they're hanging up. And sure, you could just do indoor plants this way, but I plan to use it to help me propagate. And so I think this will be an interesting thing to do. I may just hang it over my kitchen sink so I can bring in a few of the things I want to make sure I keep at least a few samples of for winter, just in case it gets just a little bit too cold here and I can't save any of the basil. So let's see. Oh, Sarah says her 14-year-old likes to run garden experiments. That is fantastic. I think it is a great opportunity for kids of all ages. I'm just a big kid myself to try out gardening and to learn about gardening. My parents gardened, but they grew Miracle Grow gardens in 5-gallon containers, and I don't I don't really remember us having conversations about the fact that we were growing some of our own food, and I don't know that we did it for very many years. We may have only done it for a season. I don't remember it being like a chore of mine to do, so it must have been something my dad just took care of. I do have I do I wish I knew where the picture was though, because it's really funny. I have a picture of my mom. They had a bed of okra plants, and she was standing next to the okra, and you can see her reaching up and looking. And the okra looks like it might have been something else because it was kind of a 5-leaf variety or five, so it kind of looked like a hand like this. And so here's my mom standing proudly in the middle of the greenery. So it was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty funny. Let me fix this camera just a little bit. There we go. Um, let's see. Alphabetical seeds by alphabetical. Uh, down underneath. Well, the land we were taught it's just called the land down under. So let's see. Ah, so that makes sense, Kaylee. The standing water can be a problem. Standing water can be a problem. So we do have to be mindful of that. I know there are different regulations in different places. I haven't had We use a little bit of BT in the things that we have standing water in. I have screens over my rain collection, so that's a little better here. So Yeah, the winds would probably smash that. Now they might have those in acrylic. They might have those in acrylic. Talking about these. But yeah, I plan to use it either inside the house, inside the greenhouse, or or inside of the garden studio. I don't plan to have these hanging around outside typically because we're pretty windy here too on days. In fact, the new and you guys, I think you may have seen the video where I had the frost protection, and I haven't again, I don't have an opinion on the frost protection just yet, but I do know that I'm really glad that I tied them off because we had big winds yesterday, huge storms. We were in our tornado shelter twice. I know in Florida it's also called the master closet, but I'm trying to be fancy here. We were two different times we were told to take shelter, and it was pretty, from the sound of it, it was pretty bad. My ears were hurting from the changes in the pressure. I could feel it just moving past. We ended up not having any tornadoes that I'm aware of in my little area, but that was a big worry for us yesterday. And um, so that would have totally blown it off, and it blew these covers off. They're out in the yard right now, but I tied them to the trunk of the tree, and so they didn't blow away. Tomorrow I'll have to go out and pick them back up and either untie them, but we're going to have freezing weather again in 2 days. And so I'm really grateful for these little covers. If you guys didn't see those, I'll pop those up here as well. Um, because I'm really happy so far. But the real question will be is when we have cold weather for day after day, um, is it going to work out? And so that is where really the kind of the question comes in for me. And so I am not giving my opinion on this yet. I hope you guys don't mind. I like to just tell you what's real and what's not real. And so, and you can see I actually did order this. These are the ones I used. And this is one of the sets. I ordered two different brands to test out, and it unzips. And because it unzips, it makes it really easy. That's frost is certainly not my yard. It makes it easy to leave it on because we do have, hot, cold weather. We had freezing temperatures, and then it was hot. Now it's 80, and now it's going to be freezing again on Wednesday. And so being able to open up that zipper is a real plus, at least as far as I'm concerned. And so that we can, oh, here it is. Here's a picture. We can open the zipper back up, and then there's enough string to tie it off. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So back to these garden gifts. So we have inexpensive aprons. Aprons are really cool. I haven't used an apron as much in the garden as I should. I usually have my fanny pack. So for me, my fanny pack is indispensable because out in the garden, I typically wear, and you guys have seen me on the channel, I typically wear yoga pants. In the yard, it's more comfortable. Unless it's really cold, I might wear jeans, but I like the yoga pants. Well, with yoga pants, you got no pockets. And so I love having a fanny pack so that I can keep my house keys in there because I like to lock up the house when I go out into the garden. I can keep my keys to the garden studio in there and my cell phone and things like that. So if I'm out in the yard by myself, I'm not alone, so to speak. So that part is good. Microgreen containers are cheap gifts. So what if we weren't thinking, I love all of these, and I know the Arrow Garden's a little higher up. Hey Karen, look at there. I'm learning new stuff today. Yeah, the bum bag, exactly. The bum bag, a bum bag. It is a really nice little thing to have for me. So I haven't used an apron. I did see a harvesting apron, and this looked really interesting to me. I think that was on Amazon, or actually it might, you know what it might have been, is it might have been an ad on Facebook. And this looked really interesting to me as well. Oh no. Oh, now this is totally different. Nah, I'm going to we'll see. I'm going to see if I can share this. This one may not. You guys tell me what you think of this one. Tell me what you think of this one. So supposedly it clamps up, and then I can't tell if this is a clamp. Oh, a quick release clamp. Okay, so a quick release clamp and a crossover. That might not be too bad. I'd be curious to see how that holds up. If you were really trying to harvest some heavy duty things, obviously, I wouldn't put tomatoes in this because they would get smushed. But maybe if you were harvesting peppers and other things like that, I don't know. What do we think about this? So, and nobody in the US wears them. That's hilarious. Bum bags. That's exactly right. Very cool. Hey, Tina, welcome. Welcome, Tina. Good to see you here as well. Tina's favorite gift has been her sit and kneel bench. I like that too. I haven't used one of those. Garden kneeler. I haven't tried one of these yet because I don't tend to work that way. However, I think it might be really good. I actually have a friend of mine who uses these in her house. She's a little bit older and she uses one of these in her house so that if she does have to get down on the floor to pick anything up, she has just a little extra help here. So just a little extra help. A Roo apron, a Roo apron. I've not seen one of those. Is that, let's see, Roo apron, garden. Haven't seen that. Oh, here we go. Here's a Roo apron here. Okay, so it is pretty similar to the other one. It is pretty similar to the other one. I do like that they are water resistant and washable. You know, washable is a good thing. One of my from a harvesting standpoint this is something that Mrs. Michelle got me. I'm not sure, she may have ordered it on Amazon. I'm not sure. Is a garden trug. And now I won't find the one that I have, but they must not have it right now, but it is a harvest trug, maybe. It looks more like this. Yeah, actually, this is it here. And so, oh no, actually, mine isn't exactly like this. Mine has holes in it. And so mine has a way that has a colander built in it. It's the same brand here as Garland. So it has a way that you can rinse before you bring things inside. So I do like that. And it did really well, particularly last year when I was harvesting all those loofah. So it made a really nice container, big enough, but not so deep and not so much that it's too heavy either. So, you know, knee pads would work. Absolutely. Knee pads would work. So that would be a good thing too. Over on Tractor Supply, I'll tell you guys, it is a little bit harder, but this is the greenhouse. I know y'all saw my greenhouse debacle last year. And so this year I am going to do it a little bit differently. I am going to use it only for making sure that I get my seed started. And then I'm going to take it back down again. I may leave the frame up, but I'm going to take the cover off of it. So I'm going to use it right now in the beginning of winter to do seed starting for my current winter garden, and then take it down until it's time to start doing the spring garden, which should be February-ish in most cases. I'll start a few things in the house, but for the stuff that I want to start outside, I'll put it up and take it back down. And so that's another one here. It's a little more expensive gift. It's not the most expensive gift, but I think that's something that's kind of cool to think about. The thing you have to know about these, and we learned this last year, is these are not they call them portable for a reason. Portable. They're for temporary use. If you leave them out in the sun, these are not sun protected at all. They really aren't on any of the ones that I've learned or studied. You can buy sun protective material, UV material, but you have to reapply it every time it rains or every 2 weeks. I don't really want to do that. And so I'm fortunate enough to live in a zone that I just will probably only need it for about 6 weeks. I won't leave it up for 6 months like I did last time. So I won't make that same mistake. Another sip of water here. So if you could, yeah, a real greenhouse would be nice, but I'm not there yet either, Tina. I'm not there yet. I just got the garden studio. I think I will have to get that used up really, really well before I start talking about a real greenhouse. Maybe it'll come one day though. Who knows? You never know what might show up in the meadow. So if you were like pie in the sky gift, like pie in the sky gift, what is something you would want for your garden that just would be so cool? And I don't want to say like money is no object. I mean, sure, you could spend $10,000, but something that might still be giftable, but be what you would consider to be like a big gift. And I know we talk about the garden beds. You can say garden beds if you want to, but I like knowing like what are some of the other really cool things that you might want to have. And maybe it is a garden bed. I don't know. I know about garden beds, but still, um, this is I have a cat over here, so I was like, what was that noise? So oh, wow. Oh, now see, I like this. Okay. An all glass greenhouse. Hey, Jesse, welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. Hey, if you guys are here with us and you haven't said hello yet, and I haven't said hello to you, be sure to say hey in the chat and make sure you tell us where you are from. We got representation here in the Northeast Florida area. We've got Jersey, we've got Missouri, we've got Australia. So a lot of good things here. Oh, a smart irrigation system like the link tap. Oh, I don't know what a link tap is. I'm going to have to look that one up. Oh, interesting. I'm going to share that on the screen. That's one I haven't heard of before. I saw I won't remember the garden channel name. Never even occurred to me, y'all. And I know that Kevin does it too, but I saw it before I went to Kevin's. Never even occurred to me that you could set up a home garden on a sprinkler timer system the same way that you might set up your yard sprinklers, because I don't use yard sprinklers. I used them the first year we were here and they're dead now. But the system's still in place. And maybe in 2024, 2025, probably 2025, I may think to see if we could reuse the valves and the wiring that are there. I know the pipes won't be any good, but we might be able to take advantage of what's already been installed here at the house. So this is a hose on a hose, but you can control whether or not the water comes on over your phone. That is pretty cool. So you could turn things off and on, 1 or 2 zones. That is very cool, Sarah. Thank you very much for sharing that. Very, very cool. I like that. A green stalk. Yep. Green stalks are very popular. I like my green stalks. I've not really done a video on the green stalks at all because I've done a terrible job managing them. Let me pull up the Greenstock website. So these are cool. And they have done a really nice Greenstock Gardens. I feel like they've done a really nice job starting to create some additional products to go with it. And I don't need to be a VIP right this second. So I use, for our green stalks, we have the green stalk mover, which comes in handy because we can roll it back against the house. But they've got the 5-tier, the 7-tier. They just added, now I'm not going to see it. Didn't they add in an irrigation system or something for those? Yeah, watering system. So you can hook it up on a watering system now. That would be a great gift. That would be a great gift. I tried to get that for I tried to get this for Secret Gardener Mom, or Mrs. Michelle's mom, for the when they were on sale, whenever they had them on sale most recently, and she changed her mind and didn't want them. She wants to build her own DIY version of it. So yay, mom. Yay, mom. I'm not sure if she's watching. Mom, if you're out there, hey. So that was good. This was also interesting here. I don't know how many of you use a green stalk, but one of the challenges is is the water getting in that top area. And what I do, and you guys may laugh at this, but how do I get back out of this window? Okay, thank you. There's probably an X here that I can't see. One of the things that I do is on that irrigation tube, it had a little tiny black cap. And so I take that little black cap and I put it over the top of the center post, or I take a longer irrigation tube, put it over the top of the center post. So I'll have to make a video about that so that the garbage doesn't flow down into the center of the tube. So I'm going to go back here to Elizabeth. She said something else here about the irrigation system. So it uses its own network separately from the Wi-Fi. Oh, nice. So, but you would have to be at home, right? If you were going to control it from your phone, you'd have to be at home that way. You couldn't be like far away from it, but still, that is very, very cool. Oh, now we're talking pie in the sky. I love this. An automatic gardening system. It plants the seeds or seed. What is it called? Like the garden turtle? And shows the right amount of water. Now that is some high-tech garden stuff. That is some high-tech garden stuff. If you guys, by the way, if you're watching this, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook, thumbs up, hearts, however you, I don't know if, will the hearts work this week? What I discovered recently, yep, there they go. I don't know what causes this to happen, but I like it. It makes it happy. If I do 2 thumbs up, it does like that kind of a background. It's kind of fun. So I like that. That's some high-tech stuff there. I've seen those garden robots. I have seen some of the new garden beds, and I made a few videos over the last couple of weeks about some of the birdies beds. But I did also see on Vigo Garden, they are doing some self-watering beds now. And I helped Road to Gardenberry, who's another YouTuber, put together one that is a self-watering bed, and it looks really cool. We actually put together, it's called an advanced bed. I have a video coming out about this, but they have changed the model since this video was made. She ordered one of these, and she lives in the neighboring area for me, and so we put this together. It was really weird to put together after having put together the other kind of garden beds. Wasn't anything wrong with it. I just didn't read the instructions first, and that was my mistake. That was my mistake. Hey, Sunny Life, welcome, welcome, welcome. And so underneath in this one, I don't know if it shows it here. No, that's the shelving. Well, where is
your favorite garden bed? Just got an upgrade.
That's Sarah talking. Hey, Sarah, a different Sarah. I think, yes. This has a layer underneath it, and I wish they had the video here. So this has a separate layer right here, and it's inverted, and so the soil can go down into the pockets, and it's just basically a very, very fancy wicking bed, and it has a little overflow tube so that your plants don't drown. But it would be a great way to really preserve water. If you want to do a high-tech garden bed, these self-watering beds are pretty high-tech. I see now they're doing it in the planters too. Oh, here you go. This shows it. So this is what goes down beneath the planting. And so these little tubes go down into where the water is. And so some soil can go down there, and then the soil is wicking and helps to keep everything done. Let's head back over here to the comments. The garden bed with the built-in trellis that I put over at Mama Meadow's house would be a good gift. It would be a good gift. The cucumbers, I didn't do a follow-up video on that, and I promised I would, but Mom had moved it in several places, and so it did fall over in the storm, and she lost her cucumbers because they came out, and it just didn't do well after that. They just never recovered after getting yanked out of the ground. It wasn't even though we talked about that, I wouldn't blame the trellises fault for that falling over. We probably should have had it weighted down just a little bit better. But it was one of those weird storms. We had a 50-mile-an-hour gust, and the thing just went phoonk and fell right over. It did not break. So I think that is certainly a testament to it. It fell off a step. It fell backwards off the edge of the patio, but it did not break. But the plants died because they got yanked out by their roots. But so far, it still looks pretty good. I should do a follow-up video on that. Thank you. Thank you, Habitual Hobbies. I appreciate that. So excellent, excellent. So I like these. These are some good pie in the sky gift ideas as well. For me, I don't think garden beds are on my list at this point. It might be a little out of control over here. I just put together another one this week from Garden in Minutes. They sent that over. The video is coming out. They saw my garden grid video. I purchased that garden grid myself, and they saw my video and they wanted to know if I would be interested in trying it out. And so it is not installed in the garden yet, but it is assembled, and I'll be working on getting that put in the garden. So far, the quality is on par with the other garden beds. The thing that's different about the Garden in Minutes bed is that it's rectangular. And so if you love the idea of having a rectangular bed instead of a round bed, then this might be a great choice. And having these built-in irrigation systems, the irrigation is neat because, it takes 5 minutes and you've got irrigation to your bed. They don't come in tall sizes though. So if you're somebody who wants a taller garden bed, then this might not be a great choice for you. But hey, gift cards for Garden in Minutes. The other thing that they do, and I haven't talked about this yet, I probably should show you this, because even if you if you don't want to make your own garden hoses, you can order garden hose by the foot. And so if you just need like a 3-foot hose to go between two garden beds, or to connect garden beds together instead of setting up PVC pipe and trying to do all the piping, you can actually just buy custom lengths of hose. And so, and really, if you go to your local store, about the only sizes you can get some supply hoses that are 3 feet for RVs. Karen, you're in an RV, so you know about those short little hoses. But it's kind of hard to find very many hoses that are in these short lengths where you were connecting garden beds together. So it's kind of cool, just something to show you there. So, oh, let's see here. Sunny Life has 2 300-gallon tanks. Let me put this on the screen. With auto drip irrigation from Drip Depot to all of my 8 birdies beds. Okay, so Sunny Life, I need to ask you a really important question. How are you powering the water from your tanks in order to make the drip irrigation work? If you would share that in the comments, I would really, really appreciate that, because I will tell you that has been the challenge that I've had. So I can easily hook these drip irrigation up to my faucet, but I have not figured out how I could power that. I've been looking at transfer pumps and other things. So tell me, please, please tell me. And you can have all the credit. It's fine. Sunny Life said so. All right. While Sunny Life is typing that in, I'm going to go over here and take a look. Worm composting bin. Yes, yes. I got a message yesterday from Mimi's Worms, or maybe it was Friday, but from Mimi's Worms. They are not very far away. They're over in Valdosta, Georgia, and that's maybe 2.5 hours from me. And so I am going to be going over there to see their worm farm. And maybe I'll pick up some good composting tips. I still will be setting up. I am going to be using, and I think I told you about this on another live. I am going to be using milk crates to try some of the, to try to make some of them. Let me see here. I can't talk and type at the same time. So I am going to try to use The these I got from Milk Crates Direct, I think. I think this is the ones I got. But use some regular old milk totes. These are UV stable. I'm going to try use some of these to make a modified version of the Sub Pod. I'm not sure that it's much different or worse than a Sub Pod would be. Nope, not that one, Michelle. Try again. Square milk crates. And so now in a case like this, these are UV stable. I did buy a set of 6, but a set of 3 would be $17, and then you still got to pay some shipping on them for sure. But it ends up being about $10, maybe $12 a basket. I'm not encouraging you to go and lift them anywhere. I wanted some that I knew were UV stable, so just something to mention there. Something to mention there. Karen says she dreams of gardening without bending over. Yeah, it's tough. I really I had my first garden 12 or 13 years ago, and I wasn't nearly as fit as I am now. And I found it a real chore trying to get up and down and get down in the garden beds. And I had it in a like it's kind of a 12-inch. I think I did, or was it either 12 or 8 inches? And it was a very challenging for me then. I really do love not having to go down onto the ground to manage the weeds and manage the garden. So I do love having those taller beds for sure. Let's see here. Rainwater catch containers. Keep an eye out for those. There are lots of different places to get those. I've bought olive barrels on Facebook Marketplace, and I found some stores that sell food grade. So if you do buy something used like that, make sure it's food grade and ask them what was in it. One of my tanks got delivered to me and it had silicone in it, which is supposed to be food safe, but it had silicone in it. Like it wasn't dried out. And so there was still like that, probably that much in the bottom of the tank. And it took us many fills to get it emptied out and cleaned out in a way that we felt good about using that water in the garden. So, let's see here. Yeah, gravity feed is great. Gravity feed will work in a really high volume tank. I think, but I think I have one of the 275 gallons, and so that doesn't do as well. So Sunny Life, thank you here. Let's get so Sunny Life has her tanks up on 3 rows of concrete blocks. Okay. And mine is only on a 6-inch slab. And so maybe if mine was a little taller, it would be better. I want to come up with, I've seen some other YouTubers, they're using a transfer pump and it's hooked up to a battery, and that battery is hooked up to a solar panel. That would be ultimately wonderful. My tanks are on different sides of the yard, so I have one tank on each side of the house. And so maybe a transfer pump should be on my wish list for Christmas. So that's really cool. Hey, Beach Winch, good to see you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're really late, but I was really late getting started, and everybody's been so gracious. So thank you for that. Thank you very much. I apologize. I wish I even had like an excellent excuse for being late. We just had a super busy day. We finished eating dinner and I turned on the television. And as I was sitting there, so Karen, it's thanks to you, I saw that you were chatting up on another video and I went, oh, I'm supposed to be on live. Sorry, my bad. I'm really grateful that you guys hung in there and came back around. So, yeah, the milk crates. I want to see how they hold up. I am going to be also testing some other worm towers too, and I'll be talking with Samantha from Mimi's Worm Farm and Anne, who turned me on to Mimi's Worm Farm, and from Obsessed. Oh my gosh, I've just lost my train of thought. But anyway, Plant Obsessed channel. So, and yeah, always one about, no, I did not forget about you guys. I just forgot that it was the first Sunday in December. That's okay. what was it? Was it last month or the month before? I just scheduled it on the wrong day completely. So nobody noticed when you guys just showed up, and I'm really grateful. So thank you. Thank you very much. Sarah, you are very welcome. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping in. Always glad to see you here. And Karen, absolutely. Thank you so much. Really. I'm excited to see how the milk crates go. What I like that they're UV stable. Um, that makes me feel better about putting them down in the garden. Of course, mostly they're going to be covered. The part I haven't quite figured out yet is how I'm going to cover the tops of them. I may just get some pieces of some wood and cut the wood to fit so that I could run a bungee cord through it and sort of pin it down on the other side just to keep any critters from popping the lid. I may have shown you guys, I think I did show you on my garden tour video. Someone, most likely the raccoons, were up in the bed where I have the sub pod. And while the sub pod is just fine, and they did not get into the sub pod, they weren't able to open the sub pod. They did dig down about 6 inches down the side of the sub pod and dug all the plants out and broke one of my pepper plants off. So, only gardeners can be excited to see a worm farm. I know. I'm so thrilled. Like, I want to see these worms turning waste into wonder, turning waste into gold. Yeah, I think, Karen, I think plywood, maybe a heat treated plywood, something that's not going to be toxic for the garden. I've gone to all this trouble to make sure I'm not putting toxins in. Maybe, maybe even maybe I'll make something out of cedar, but habitual hobbies, your dog can't come near it. So, but we'll just leave it up on top. Dogs shouldn't actually be on top of the garden. The cats seem to think they belong up there, but they don't. They don't. Marine plywood with a latch. So I'm going to figure out a way to do that. So let's see. Any other gift ideas? Oh, let me show you one from TinkTube, actually. From TinkTube. And my friend is like, Michelle, why haven't you shown anybody that they can get this? And so over at TinkTube, if you guys are thinking about making a garden trellis, they actually sell a kit. You can get your own EMT locally, which EMT is electrical metal tubing, but they sell the kit with all the parts for you to do it. And you can just tell them if you want to get the tools or the things only. And they send you different varieties of the different pieces so that you can build your own garden trellis. Now, I have not used these corner pieces yet. I'm looking forward to using some pieces like that for the TinkTube. That was a lot of fun building that trellis. I can say that now because it's built. The trellis wasn't the problem. It was making a round circle. That was the problem, or making 2 half circles. And so picking up the thing from Bootstrap Farmer was a huge help in solving that problem. So, excellent. But at any rate, so here is just another little kit idea. If you're looking for kit ideas, this I haven't really tried. I was noticing this. This lets you join 2 pieces together. So if you're trying to make an extended trellis like this, you can join pieces together. So pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I even have on Amazon, as I see stuff that, and my family never goes and looks at my Amazon wish list. I don't know why. I mean, that's what it's there for them to find the stuff. But let's see. This is one that might surprise you. This is one that I want. And so I'm going to make sure that Mrs. Michelle knows this. But it is, let me open this up here. I want a UV headlamp, a blacklight headlamp. So in the spring, when the hornworms come back for a visit, I can go out there with my little headlamp on and look around for hornworms to pluck them off. I just think this is a fun idea. I just think it would be a great and easy way to do that. It's not very cheap, but if you are like I have a little black light, but if you're trying to be out in the garden and pull the hornworms off, this is a great way to be hands-free with that. So this is like a non-traditional garden gift. Maybe that's what we should talk about now. What things that are you wouldn't think about as a garden, but you would love to have as a gift? Love to have as a gift. Hey, Michael, that's cool. I did not know that you had an indoor worm farm for 7 years. That is fantastic. Yeah, and if you manage your indoor worm farms right, um oh, Andrea T, welcome, welcome. Andrea, what zone are you growing in? What zone are you growing in? Here. Oh, let me grab my affiliate link for you there. So you can get this one so you guys can find this one if this is really of interest to you. Here you go. Zone 6. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fantastic. But I just thought this was really cool, and I wonder if anybody else would too, right? Just because if you're out there hunting it on your own, you need both hands to kind of hang on to the tomato plant and yank those hornworms off. I had one, uh, we actually did better this past year. It was really weird. So weird. Every year is weird, but I had one. I was looking at the plants and I was like, well, I thought there was a hornworm on here, but I guess not. And so the next day I went back and the whole other plant was stripped. I was like, yep, I just didn't see them. They blend in so darn well. So darn well. Hey, we have doubled in viewers. Wow. Thank you very much, folks. I'm glad that you guys are here. We're having some fun. For folks who are just joining us, we are just talking about things that would make great garden gifts. I'm sharing some things, ideas of things I'd like. And as people are putting in their comments, we're just sharing some of those screens as well. And for anybody who is new and you like the channel, and I'll just share you this, if you want to support the channel, as you are Christmas shopping for anything on Amazon for sure, you can go to michelleinthemeadow.com/support. And down here are all of my affiliate links. So if you're going to shop on Amazon, you can check that link out. If you're looking for the Birdies Beds or Botanical Interest, Epic Gardening, Garden in Minutes, Tink Tube. These are all companies that I have worked with, and I'll earn a small commission if you decide to shop this way, even Vigo Garden. So in Australia, they've never seen a hornworm. They do. Andrea, I don't know how they get so big and hide so well. I know how they hide so well because they are exactly the same color as the tomato plant. I mean, they're just exactly the same color, which is why I think those black lights do a really, really, really good job. Really, really good job. Oh, here's my garden truck. Here it is. I should have known that. I forgot I had this over here. Now, I made this a while back and I'd forgotten about it. Some of the things that I use around the garden right now or in the meadow, the fire pit, you might wonder about that. When I started my channel on Facebook, I actually started doing like little morning rants, meditations, sharing. It was at the beginning of that pandemic thing that we've all forgotten about. And I would sit outside and I was learning how to start a fire. And so I would just turn on my camera and go live on Facebook and talk about starting a fire and all the analogies I could put together with that. And we just have a little 20-minute conversation and I'd go about my day. And so it was nice for me. So I really love my solo stove. That's been great. The Gorilla cart, and I think Dixie, I think someone won. I think it was Dixie. No, I don't know who it was now who won the garden cart before. The garden cart, I have loved this one, but I am going to be upgrading from this. I already knew that I wanted an upgrade when I saw Mom's, because let's see, did I not? Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I'm looking on the screen here. It didn't look like it opened here. Maybe I'm a little bit further behind than I realized on the screen. But the garden cart for me, boop, boop, boop. trying to get it to share the screen. Let's try again. Let's try again. This has been a great garden cart. I have abused it terribly. I have not been a good taker care of it. I leave it out in the garden and it's been filled with water on many, many occasions and it's starting to rust. And this is all broken off after 4 years. After 4 years. So, I can't really complain. But the challenge that I have with this particular one is wish that would stop moving, is right here. The way this handle works, in order to dump it, you have to pull it out. You have to pull it out. And that is kind of hard to do when it is full of stuff and now that it's rusty. There is an upgraded version. Mom got one that was similar, but then when I was visiting Kevin at Epic Gardening, he had one like this here. And this is a heavy duty son of a gun. Now, this one isn't the right one though. There is a new variety that when you lift the handle, it also lifts. And so this one still has, this picture still has the pull type handle. Here we go. So this handle here, when you give it a pull, you unlatch it in the same direction that you're lifting the dump. And it's all made of plastic. So this part doesn't rust. And that was the problem that I have. And I mean, look at this and think this is a pretty expensive garden cart. And it is at $300. I think I paid $120 for mine when I bought mine. And then I spent $12 per tire to upgrade, or $15 a tire to upgrade it. So I was all in at about $180, and it's lasted 4 years, and it's still good enough, but I want something that's a little easier to unsnap. So, they are super sturdy. They're super sturdy. So let's go back up here. I see a few more things here. Let's see what some other gifts you folks are talking about. Oh, Sunny Life said, I need a dehydrator, outdoor storage for my patio, and a grafting set. Oh, a grafting set. I like that too. A grafting set. Now, some of these are weird names. Anyway, I wish that some of our regular places, some of the other people we deal with, sold some of these kinds of tools, because I look and I look through them, always trying to find something that feels like it might be the right quality. It's a little harder to tell. No, this one is a brand name called Glarks, Glarks. I'm not sure who they are. I've not heard of them before. Nope. I know I'm not sharing it. I was just looking to see. There were so many choices when I pulled this up on the screen. So I have not done any grafting yet. I certainly want to do, some grafting. I think it would be really interesting. Now here is just a simple little kit. This one looks, it may be questionable as to what the quality of it is. I am not recommending this particular one. I'm just sharing it because it's one you mentioned. But it looks like it has the different kind of cutting blades in it, so that you can get the cut you need this way. I know that I've seen some of the other channels, they're just doing a straight up diagonal cut, and then they're just using the clips to do it. So some of these little things have a clip. So these have different kind of cuts. I think it really depends on what you're trying to do the grafting with. I want to try some air pruning. I don't know if you guys have seen these air pruning pods, air pruning pods, like this style here, the little black ones that pop on. So many different kind of brands here, but they just pop on together. I picked one from, I think the ones I got were made in the USA. I haven't started doing that yet. That's a really fun thing. Dehydrator still sounds lovely. I am not I say that it does sound lovely. I actually have 2. I have one that I borrowed and one that I bought, and I haven't yet mastered that. Food preservation definitely needs to come at some point, so harvest basket made of wood and hardware cloth are so pretty. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Um, I don't know. I don't think they have any at Botanical Interest right now. I was looking at some of those before myself. Not sure if they have those right now. At where are the tools and supplies? I don't see any on here right this minute. But I have seen those and I really like them, and I know I've seen them at some other places as well. But I really like the way those look. I think there might have been one on Amazon just then when I was pulling that up. I really like those too as well with the hardware cloth. Let's see. Um, we'll just Google that. Yeah. Let's see. Gardeners.com has one. Lee Valley has one. Well, here's a cool picture. Here's what they look like. Oh, y'all. Oh, y'all. There may need to be a DIY in my future. Look at this. I never even thought about that. I never even thought about building one. I'm going to put this link in there. I know we're talking about gifts, but that might be fun. I'm going to put this link in there as well. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. So let me catch up here on the comments. Hods, HODS. They're called hods. Okay, cool. Nobody's mentioned bird feeders and bird baths. I haven't heard that at all. Those are great things for the garden. Look, it's tough, sometimes thinking about inviting some of the critters into the garden, but the birds and the pollinators, they all play a part. I don't want the birds to peck all of my fruit, but I also love having them there to help keep out some of the pests. And there's this really unique balance and trying to figure it all out, Um, let's see. Andrea said her gorilla cart was super sturdy. Yeah. Yeah, a spare handle. Yeah, it rusted, but I can't blame the company for it rusting, honestly. I mean, it stayed out in the yard for months, months, months. Excellent. Well, it's good to have somebody who can make you stuff. I like that. Ooh, now that's an interesting idea. A subscription of some kind, or a magazine subscription, like gardening magazines. Oh, that's a great idea. The Seed Time app is great. I just got a solicitation from another garden planning app, and I need to check that out before I share that with y'all. That was kind of good. That was kind of good. Oh, no, I've never seen that before. A bird bath where you can put the hose fitting at the base so you can keep it topped off. I really like that idea a lot. A lot. Oh, now here we go. Now, who would not love to receive this as a gift? A Baker Creek whole seed catalog. They're just so pretty. And I was going to have us we were going to do a get together and look at seed catalogs together, and I never got my together. So excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, a good DIY where we can do repurposing and recycling is a beautiful thing. In fact, I probably have some hardware cloth on those on that harvest hod. Is it called a hod? HOD hod. Um, I probably have just enough hardware cloth left over from another project that I could build one. Maybe that'll be a new video for us at some point. So we've talked about the seeds. We've talked about watering. We've talked about plants, you know, other things that could happen. You could hint to your loved ones. Gift certificates to your local garden center. You know, I, I try to support my local stores as much as possible. We buy ridiculous amount of stuff on Amazon. I can't even lie. You know, it's ridiculous, but it's typically things we can't easily pick up here, or it wouldn't be convenient for us to get it where we are. I mean, we're in a city, but still, sometimes convenience just wins. So, I like it. I want to see, where is a bird bath with a hose fitting? Hose connection. Okay. I'm looking here. This does not have a, that doesn't have a hose fitting in it. I wonder, I wonder, I've never seen that here. So that'll be interesting. I don't even see one quickly on the web like that. So that's really cool. If you guys find one, drop the link in the comments, please. Drop the link in the comments. Please, please, please. So hide that. Make sure I'm all caught up here. So what else for the garden? Things, we didn't talk about garden tools as much other than just in general. So a really great pair of bypass cutters, you know, maybe even pruners of some kind are good things to check out. Another person in the comments of that video talked about, they called it a snake head, but a cobra head weeder. I don't have one of these, but that looks really interesting. Gloves, 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 always gloves, always gloves. Now, excuse me, do any of you use a long reach harvest snip? This looks really interesting. I can see why you'd want to use that on some tomatoes. That would be nice, a nice way to reach in there without having to knock them off. I tend to knock all the tomatoes off while I'm trying to get in and cut the whole thing while it's still connected. I don't know if I have this particular brand, but mom got me some augers like this, and I used them when I was planting up the pansies, half of the pansy garden, and I'm really happy. I wish I'd have used it on the whole thing. It was so fast. It was so fast. It was really impressive how easy it was to do that. So, oh, I saw a seating square over there. The seating square is a really cool thing. Let's see. If you're going to do direct sewing, a seating square is a pretty nifty thing. I've not tried one yet, but I think it looks really cool. And so it's got the color coding on it, tells you how far apart to plant things. And then you get your little holes already in the ground. That's kind of cool. When I planted out, I've already put it away. When I planted out the pansies, I just took a home ruler because I'm trying to make it pretty. And so I took a home ruler, like a wooden ruler, and I put a piece of tape around 8 inches so I could easily just move it, go make a hole, 8 inches, make a hole, 8 inches, make a hole, 8 inches. And that worked really, really well. So books. Oh yes. Garden magazines. What garden books would you want specifically though? Do you know? I'm going to bring some up here. And then I have to share the screen again. It'll make it a little easier for you guys to see what I brought up. So mom was very interested in this particular one here, the Old Farmer's Almanac. And so Oh, good. That doesn't show on the screen. That looked really interesting. Mini farming, seed saving. I mean, it's endless. Of course, Kevin's got a book that's coming out, another book that's coming out from Epic Gardening. Raised bed gardening for beginners. Hey, is that M.I. Gardner right there? It is M.I. Gardner. How about that? I didn't know he had a book out. Garden Maker. Fun. A book on saving seeds on the wish list. That's fantastic. Yeah, a little handsaw. That's another good one. Rooted Life by Justin Rhodes. Ooh. I think he has the Abundant Homestead. I think that's his channel. Is that right? Oh yeah, YouTube Homesteader. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. I like that. Botanical and Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. Oh, yeah. I like that. I have I think I have this. I think this is this right? Might not get it right. I have a jar. I have a mason jar recipe. A mason jar recipe book, which I haven't used. It's for how to preserve with canning. We didn't. Oh, the tiny but mighty farm. I like that. Tiny but mighty farm. See if they have that here. Here we go. Very cool. Very cool. Ooh, I like when they come spiral bound because I like spiral bound when I can. Now, this was a giveaway I got at an event, but still I like a nice spiral bound. That's fun. Be able to turn it back. Use it. Spiral bound means you're going to use it. Herbal medicine books. Okay, let's take a look at that. I see we have some new numbers popping up here. If you guys are coming new in the chat with us, feel free to tell us, say hey, and tell us what zone you're growing in. We're just talking about different ideas that would make great garden gifts, things that people would like to give and receive. And so, a time traveler's herbal, a historical handbook for the budding apothecary. We have an old pharmacy up in town here, and they have a lot of the old medicine bottles just on like a rail around the edges. And one of the bottles up there is arsenic because apparently arsenic used to be used for something. Well, I was like, oh my. So, books about gardening with less water. Ooh. Water saving gardening book. We'll try that. Seed saving. Oh, the water saving garden. I would love to maybe have another conversation about that. I want to do some videos on that. I definitely have tried really hard to be mindful of my water consumption. I am very aware, and you guys probably hear me talk about it, but I had another friend who was from Perth, Australia, and so in where she particularly grew up, they did not grow up with a lot of money, and water is very expensive. It's not as expensive here where I live, and so hair washing where she grew up, and this might be a common thing there, was only done outside, and you got, a cup of water to wet your hair down, and then you do all your shampooing, and then whatever water you rinsed your hair in, that water was saved for something else. And so very, very strict about managing water. And we don't do nearly enough of that. We waste so much water. I have neighbors who have lawns and they, I mean, we all have lawns here, but um, I don't know. At any rate, I love that idea. So thank you for sharing that. Um, this one's looking at Oyas. I found, oh my gosh, speaking of Oyas, just as a quick side note, I was at like a salvage store. I was at a salvage store a couple of weeks ago, and they had terracotta planters that did not have a hole in them, and they were, I think, $1 a piece. And so I bought all they had because, and they were deep. So we're gonna see. I'll be able to make some oyas that are about this tall. Um, and they were just a little bit bigger than a typical pot. I don't know why it was like a little extra tall. So I'm very excited in that. Um, yes, Charles Dowding does have a book out. The Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving this food. Absolutely. Absolutely. More great suggestions there. Thanks for letting me just go back and forth between these topics. I appreciate it. It's so funny. I'm about a minute or two ahead of you over here, and then I start talking and y'all get ahead of me. So we just keep bouncing back and forth. Oh yeah, Jess does have a book. Jessica Sowards. First time homesteader. And I think she has a new one coming out too, doesn't she? First time gardener, first time homesteader. A couple of different editions. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can pick it up on Kindle Unlimited. Though I have to tell you, I don't find that nearly as satisfying as putting a book in your hand. This is my fitness coach's new book is coming out, Ageless Energy. It's actually already available on Amazon, by the way. So I'm very excited about this. She has this little ditty out here. It's not a gardening book, so sorry, off topic, but it happened to be on my desk. And so it is this kind of fun, I like being able to take a book and pick it up and fold it around, take notes, all of those things. So there's something really about that. I don't know. I just don't want to take like a Kindle out into the garden to read. It just doesn't feel the same. So check out Growing Food in Hotter, Drier Land. Let's try that one. Let's go see that one. I don't know if I put that all right. Lessons from Desert Farmers and Adapting to Climate Uncertainty. I like that. There is a really great channel on YouTube that does a lot of talking about water. And let me see if I can find it real quick. Is this the right name? No. Don't you hate it when you know stuff? Then you have to find it again. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Andrew Millison. He puts some really great content out about permaculture and gardening, but he travels to a lot of places and takes a look at how they build their water systems. It is remarkable. And they're beautiful documentary style videos. I don't know if he has a team or how he's doing it all, but it's remarkable. And he talks about water a lot. And so if you are very, very interested in thinking about techniques for your garden, I'm sorry, this isn't a garden gift, but it's worth talking about because this is so important. It is without water, we have no food, people, right? I know y'all know that. I know we're all on the same page here. But I love watching his videos. He's gone to these places and is showing off the farm design. One of a famous Bollywood actor. If you don't know Bollywood, that is the Indian version of Hollywood. Put together a challenge, and I don't know which video it is here. Put together a challenge for changing the way that these villages work with water. And they have a contest. They have like a day or a week or something where the whole village comes together to dig new ponds in the landscape. And so they continue to work on these plans, and they're basically regreening a lot of their areas that were just arid because of abuse of land and chemicals and all that stuff. So, um, we were talking about books, and I got distracted because we want to talk about water, because water is so darn important. So darn important. So yeah, I need physical books too. Gary Pilarchek has books. That's true. Gary. He is the rusted gardener, if I remember. Rusted gardener. David the Good has some books. I don't know if his books are on Amazon or not. I know he has one called Compost Anything. He has his Grocery Row Gardening. These are all some great little books. Crazy Easy Florida Garden. So, now, funny that you guys said this. I saw someone say a mushroom or plant ID for foraging. So this is, I bought it for my own stocking. Are we allowed to do that? We can, right? So this is an organic mushroom kit, and I want to try growing these oyster mushrooms for the first time. We have lots and lots and lots of fungi in our yard. And so I am very worried um, about where I grow mushrooms. And I want to make sure that I'm growing things that I can identify. And so I'm excited to give this a try and see if we can grow some mushrooms here. And if it works really well from here, then I can take the next steps. I saw that Jacques is growing mushrooms in grow bags. And so he's doing some tests in grow bags. In his area, though, I mean, San Diego is a sort of more of a desert climate. I don't think they accidentally get mushrooms growing. I could walk outside right now and probably even, well, actually, give me a couple of days. We just had a whole bunch of rain. I could probably find 20 different varieties. I have no idea what they are, and I'm not going to eat any of them. So, a compost tumbler as a gift. That's good. That's good. Oh, mineral in the soil. Mineral in the soil. That's really, does anybody else have information about how to find out about how to promote certain minerals in the soil or to reduce them? Because I think remediation would be a much better way, right? If you can plant the things that will do the stuff you want. So putting legumes into areas where you need nitrogen fixing, things like that. That's a great question, Karen. I don't know about that. I don't know about that as much. Yeah, red wine cap mushrooms. Yeah, red wine cap as opposed to just red wine caps. Red wine cap mushrooms in the mulch. Interesting. Interesting. I am let's see, garden minerals. Now I know that you can, let's see, garden minerals. Oh, well, just what we were talking about. The Regenerative Grower's Guide to Garden Amendments using locally sourced materials to make mineral and biological extracts and ferments. And this kind of moves Jadam, KNF, regenerative farming, where you're just using natural inputs to build up the soil and using locally sourced, like going out into your local forest. Garden Like a Viking talks about this a lot on his channel. If you don't have any sort of mycelium growing in your yard, you don't have leaf litter in your yard, go to a nearby forest and get some of that soil, get some of that dirt from underneath the trees where all the leaves are. And you can start from there. So Andrea, if you can remember what that book is, we would love to know. We would love to know. Yeah. I would not eat eat wild mushrooms. I mean, if you know what they are and you're very confident in that, absolutely, um, absolutely, feel free to do that. I'm not experienced, and because I'm not experienced, I'm not willing to take the risk. And I have friends who are like, "Oh yeah, that's so and so. Yeah, well, y'all come eat it. I don't want it. I'm not going to eat it." So, and you're welcome, Karen. That's what I figured because I know that the land matters to you and the land matters to all of us. Most of the people that I've engaged with on our channel are not trying to chuck their soil through a full of synthetic fertilizers. And what I have learned um, from a lot of reading, and I haven't used a whole lot of synthetic fertilizers myself in the garden, is you really are just feeding the plants when you do that. And absolutely, when you can rebuild that soil and you can regenerate the soil and you can turn it back into good stuff all at once, you really get what you need because you're building the life and the value down in the soil. Someone posted today on one of my videos and they were talking about that. They have been building in their area for 3 years. They've been building wood chips and making layers to start building their soil. Gardening is a marathon if you're trying to uh, grow food and enjoy it and do it in a good way. It's an investment of time. And sometimes you have more time than money. Well, you have to wait, but there's so many things that you can do for free or almost free when it comes to growing your garden. I mean, you don't have to have a raised bed. I know we're here to talk about garden gifts, but you don't have to buy a raised bed. It's not necessary to start a garden. My first garden was grow bags. And the only reason they were grow bags is because I didn't know what had been in the soil here. And now that I know, I won't be growing directly in the ground. I always have at least a layer on top, even when I did my corn. So that was good. Thank you. I'm glad that was helpful. Hey, I'm glad you have one of these kits. Oh, it failed. We our first one that we had, we left it too long and it just was all yucky inside. I haven't opened this yet, but I might. Let's just see what it looks like inside. I bought it for myself. I should be allowed to open it, right? Maybe it won't make it all the way to the stocking. Oh, it says I need scissors. Yep, I won't be opening it because I need scissors and I need to be able to see what I'm doing. But there's a little bag right there. I can see that. There's a little bag. It must be the stock that's in there. So net contents is a 3x4x3 mushroom spawn. So that'll be interesting. Well, I guess I could take it off from the top, huh? Hello. I appreciate y'all putting up with my goofiness sometimes. Here we go. I guess this is just to cut that out when we're ready to start growing them. Check that out. It is the spawn of Worcester mushroom. Very cool. Very cool. I'll have to figure out how to do the rest of that. And maybe we'll have mushrooms. Maybe we'll have mushrooms to go with our Christmas dinner. That'll be good. Karen says, I know that there are certain plants that grow only when the soil needs certain minerals. That is absolutely true. I mean, we call them weeds usually, but nature abhors a vacuum. And if you just have a barren piece of dirt, what grows there has a purpose, right? If it grows really well there. And probably one of the funniest things that I hear people like, well, just can't get rid of the dollar weed. I use all the chemicals. I do this, I do that, I do the other thing. You know that dollar weed is from wet ground. And it's probably because you're watering too much. Try less water. See how that does. But my grass will die, yes, because you're overwatering your grass too. But at any rate, okay, sorry. Pet peeves, pet peeves, pet peeves. Let me see if we had any other, do y'all guys any other gift ideas you want to throw in here? Let me get back. I had a few other tabs open here. Let's see if there's anything else on here. I was going to show you a few other things that I use around the garden. If you have any questions about any of them, hit me up. I have a link to this on my website there. I do like these gloves a lot. These have been a tougher pair of gloves and they've worked really, really well for me. I can never seem to find them. The one problem with these gloves is that they're green. And you may see a theme on my stuff because I like green, but I've learned that in the garden, green is not as helpful. Not as helpful. So that's always kind of funny. That's why now I see why it's not showing. Share this tab instead. When I opened a new window. So these are great, but they are green. I don't lose them quite as much, but it's so easy to lose green stuff in the garden. So easy, but these have been nice little gloves. Couple of other things. Some folks said they would like to get plant tags as a gift. Seed starting mat as a gift. Oh, this is a great stocking stuffer. Now, if you don't have great vision, let me share the screen again. Let's try that again. If you have poor vision, you might have to use this with a magnifying glass. But what this is a slide. It actually slides, and you pull this card out and you line up what your frost date is, and it tells you when you should start planting, and it's all lined up. I think this is really, really cool. I have one somewhere. I probably need to order myself another one because I don't know where it is now. And then it has fall on the back. And so that's kind of what the card looks like. Let's see if I can get it up like this. And so it helps you with the phases, and it's your basic stuff. It's your basic garden stuff. But once you set your frost date on the line, when you pull the card out, then everything lines up for recommendations for when you should plant. And I think that's really, really cool. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. We have something funny here. What is this? Oh, let's see. Nice bucket. Here we go. Please don't pet my peeves. Exactly. Oh, oi. Yes. For sure. Missed a couple of things here. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you very much. I do well at that. It's one of my better qualities of being goofy. I just want to be myself. When I do this stuff on the channel, Road to Gardenberry says I'm much funnier in person than I am in my videos, which I thought was funny. But it probably has to do with the fact that I'm so busy editing out and trying to make sure I have the important parts. I probably cut out some of the things where I'm silly. So I'm trying to do more silliness as well and let you guys see that side of it. So, hey, Dixie. So Dixie, first off, thank you for the seeds that you sent. I apologize that I did not send you an email back to thank you sooner, but thank you very much for sending seeds. I'm very grateful, and I will be planting those. Oh, sorry about that. I'll be planting those in the spring. So I have, now speaking of the Vigo Toolbox, I have a Vigo Toolbox. They did send it to me for free, but I did not make a video on it yet because I wanted to abuse it some. And so it was in the garden probably for about the same time as the seed trays. So probably 6 or 7 months, and it looks great. And so I will be doing some videos on that soon. It is, I think it's kind of expensive, honestly, but they say that it's, from what I understand, they say that it's UV stable. Let's head over to their website real quick and take a look. Where are you? Toolbox. I guess I could just search, huh? And let's go take a look at this. share that screen. So the garden toolbox, I have one that is like this. And I haven't used it for tools, honestly, Dixie. I just hung it on the side of the garden bed, and you guys spotted it in a couple of the videos. And like, what's that thing hanging on the garden bed? I just wanted to be sure that it would hold up. The one thing that it doesn't seem to do, and maybe the newer versions are
We
better.
have some
Oh, I
colorful
did not
news for
mean
our
to
gardeners.
pop up a
Introducing
video.
daffodil.
So on the one that I have, this is how it closes. It doesn't have a good snap. It doesn't snap down good. I mean, but it's not a terrible thing. It has holes in the bottom. You guys can kind of see this video over here playing. It has holes in the bottom, but I think it's fine. I don't know how much I will use it, but I'm gonna put it back out there, and I may put me a couple of extra shovels in there because now I have some extra hand tools from the project that Mrs. Michelle did. And so it looks like they may have fixed this snapping problem because these are snapping closed. And oh, they're $39.95. Okay, they're not quite as expensive as I thought, and they're on sale now for $31.96. Okay. So if you do decide to buy that, Dixie, I'd appreciate you clicking on michelleinthemeadow.com/Vigo or Vego to make that purchase. But I thought that as far as the plastic, my biggest concern was that the plastic wouldn't hold up. And the plastic has been fine for 6 months. And so if you could get a year or two worth out of them, I think that makes it kind of fun and worth it. Let's see here. Oh, a perpetual lunar planting calendar. That's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you. Um, Baker Creek sells garden guides for five, about $5. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Firehouse Subs does have good buckets. Not everybody has a Firehouse Sub. You can get those. Really, if you pay attention, there are a lot of places that have this kind of stuff as waste, and they're happy to let you pay them a couple of bucks to take it away. Firehouse Subs are nice. The one thing, the Firehouse Subs buckets, if you're trying to be covert, they're red and they show up. But you could absolutely take that and drill some holes in it, and it still would be a little bit cheaper. You know, drill holes just so you don't, if it accidentally rained in it, you don't have your garden tool sitting in the rain. Ask me how I know about that. So I did better than garden tools. I did power tools. So not one, but two different electric drills. I took my little bucket, like you have a little carry tote. This obviously isn't one, but I usually, when I go out in the garden, I'll take a little tote like that. When I have a bunch of tools I have to take to the garden. And at the end, two different times, I took everything back in and forgot I had that tote, and I had laid the drill down the tote and it rained. So one of them came back to life. I haven't tested the other one yet. Oh, excellent. So you guys have seen the Clydes. All right. All right. All right. A UV proof, waterproof garden pen. Yes. Yes, please. Yes, please. Do not use a red marker on your plant tags. So excellent, Andrea. And so, yeah, you can just find all kinds of ways to do stuff. In fact, it's funny, in my list of things that I use in my garden, well, if I can find that list again. Doot, 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 doot. I'll have to be sharing. Funny. Does it just read my mind? I guess I don't really want it to just read my mind. Where did it go? Where are you? Karen, have a great morning. Go have fun on your chores. Pet the cows for us, please. Pet the cows for us, please. Of course, now I'm not going to find it. Shoot. I'm sorry about that. I totally lost that train of thought. So, oh, the pin. No, I got these tags. I showed you the tags. This one came with a pin. And so the jury is out on how well that's going to work. The jury is out on that. So Firehouse Subs, I think, is a Southeast. That's good. Okay, so there it is right there. We will favorite that one. I'll make sure I save that to show Karen. Karen just had to go. Weedless gardening. I like that. Weedless gardening. Put that in here too. Excellent. It is amazing how there's so much information out there. I like to say in a world where information is so readily available, ignorance is a choice. Ignorance is a choice. So very cool here. I'm going to add this to my wish list. There we go. All right, continue. So cool. That'll be another one, good one for me to have there as well. Then as we start wrapping up, oh my gosh, it's almost 10 o'clock. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome hanging out here tonight. As we start wrapping up, we looked at the Tink Tube. We talked about Vigo Gardens. We looked at a bunch of different stuff on Amazon. We talked about worm towers. We talked about green stalks and garden trugs. I mean, we have really covered the gamut, garden hoses and toolboxes. We have covered the gamut of that. I also have one of the tool bags from Vigo Gardens. They sent that to me as well, and it is a nice bag. I stick a bunch of stuff in there. I am not as organized as I should be. Hey, look who's in the house. Mimi's Worms. Samantha, I was just bragging on you a little while ago, so I'm glad that you are here. We were talking about worm composting, and on the wish list, some people would like to have for their garden gift a way to do worm composting. And so Mimi's Worms, I'm actually a new affiliate also, by the way, for Mimi's Worms. And so I'll have to make sure I add that to my list here of support. But we'll just do a quick, since you're here, we'll just do a quick shout out about your site. And I'll have to find my affiliate link in a little bit and add it in there. So if you're in the Southeast, then you can get your worms a lot faster here. And so they have composting additives, and they do have worm bins, by the way. Some different kind of worm bins. Ooh, I've never seen a garden bed like this before. Oh, that's new. How about that? Huh. I've never seen one of those. That's very cool. Thank you. I'm glad you popped in. Oh, they even have their own grow bags here as well. Are those square? Very cool. Excellent. And so, oh, I'm glad to see you have some different choices here. Which one? Oh, they are round. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. For someone who is a beginner, which product would you recommend, Mimi, for them to start doing worm composting in? I'll let you type that, and I'm going to go over here and find my affiliate link while we're doing this. So here on your site here, I see the worm bucket. There's an indoor composter. I have not tried indoor worm composting. I always worry that it's going to end up with worms all over my kitchen, and so that has been concerning to me. So here, if anybody decides they'd like to go shopping over at Mimi's, that would be great. I'll just add my link here if you guys decide you want to do that. So there's so much stuff that you can be made into a worm bin. Absolutely. I mean, you have the buckets here. They've got the nice little vent on the top, and you've got a tap on the bottom. That's pretty cool. I have done you missed a little earlier. I'm also going to be testing out some milk crates. I have a sub pod, but I want to test out milk crates to do this. So if you want to just buy one, the Mimi's Worm Hut. Oh, and look, it's on sale. It's on sale. So these are the pass-through worm bins. Those are pretty cool. It does not include the PVC, so you have to build your own PVC or use Tink Tube if you want to do that. I will have to, at some point, I'm gonna have to change some of the things I do. I don't have a shady place in my yard that also doesn't have access to animals. And so I do worry about this in my particular yard, but I like that idea. I've seen these flow through systems before. So thank you very much. That's very cool. Very cool. Glad to have you on the live tonight. Mimi, how long have you been raising worms? Of course, I probably could just pull this up right here. The Worm Queen. I like it. That's funny. Very cool. Very cool. What year did y'all start? I would love to know that. I would love to know. Look at this, y'all. I was telling them how excited I was. 6 years now. Excellent. So Mimi says the milk crates worms should do just as good as a sub pod. That's what I think too. That's what I think too. I didn't think about it at the time, but it was really, really cool. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So I am very excited about coming out and taking a look and seeing what's going on there and getting some tips and just having a nice time when I come to visit after the holidays. So that's very cool. Thank you. Thank you. Very, very cool. I'm glad you're here. Well, we have had fun tonight. I can't believe we've been at this for 2 hours. This may be a new record. I was an hour late starting and y'all are still sticking around. So thank you so very, very much. It has been a lot of fun tonight. Any last minute questions that you guys want to have? I will throw this up because I can't say it too frequently, but I am super grateful for you all. I thank you for all the support that you give my channel. If you are interested in any of the things that we've talked about tonight and you want to shop on any of the stores, I have links to everything except for Mimi's. I got to get that added in here in just a few minutes. I'll get that added in. So if you've been thinking about adding a garden bed, or you've been thinking about seeds or these other things that you want to buy for gifts for other people, or maybe gifts for yourself, like I bought my mushroom grow kit. It is helpful to our family when you click on these links, and you can just find that at michelleandthemeadow.com/support. So I thank you for that. I thank you for that. You all have been wonderful. It has been really fun tonight. 3 a.m. for me is going to come very early because that's what time we get up around here. If you don't have any other questions, there's nothing else you want to add, then I am going to call this a great night. I really enjoyed talking and sharing with you all. It's been a lot of fun. If you're still here with us, please say hello or goodbye in the chat. That would be great. We'd love to know that you stuck around. If you were still here, throw a hello or a goodbye in the chat, your zone, whatever it is. We'll say one more good night to everybody before we sign off. Alex, thank you so much. Yeah, it's only 9 o'clock for you. That's true. And it's only 7 for people all the way out on the West Coast. It's 10 in the morning I think it's 9 or 10 in the morning for Karen down under. Have a great day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was a lot of fun. I was going to have my Santa hat on tonight, but I didn't find my, I didn't get that done in time, but you would have thought I had plenty of time, right? Because it took an extra hour to get here, but oh, my hair's sticking up. Sorry about that. That's funny. I don't mean to look at myself when I'm doing this, but sometimes you just can't help it. Good night from New Zone 6. Fantastic, Andrew. I'm in new 9B to me, and I'm not changing a thing. Dixie, good night. Great to see you. Andrea, good night. Great to see you. Kaylee, good night. Great to see you here. Samantha, great to see you here. Alex, great to see you here. Karen, thanks for being here. I know we also had Sarah and we had Sunny Life. Michael, great to see you here. Give a big hug to you know who, please, please. It was great to see the folks that came over from Facebook. Thank you for joining in tonight as well. Zone 5A. Brrr, 5A. Zone 10 in Florida. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yay! It's time for seed advent. You were very welcome, Alex. You are very welcome. I remember. Fantastic. It's a lot of fun. I mean, that would be a fun gift to give to another gardener, wouldn't it? To do like just go buy the seeds and build up the little advent calendar for the holidays. That would be kind of fun. Actually, I don't have any of them in here. You could take the Epic Gardening 4-pack. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe this will be a lot of fun. And then put one packet of seed in each one and then put the cover it over, and then you could pop it open and get the seed out for each one. Thank you, Kaylee. So glad that you were here tonight. Everybody, until next time, remember to drink plenty of water. I only brought one bottle with me tonight. I know I normally need 2. Drink plenty of water. Wear that high quality sunscreen, which I didn't talk about and I meant to. Mineral-based sunscreen, things that are good to protect your skin. Take care of yourself out in the garden. And as always, have a fantastic night. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a great night, and we will see you in the garden this week.